Then I say, let's vote to take it out, or,
Because that was the only reason we wanted it in there, was just so that way we could make sure.
Right.
As long as it's in the deed, that it's the.
right,
So then 7 will handle the transfer back to Lubec Historical Society.
Right. The wording is a little off,
Right.
but.
I guess why I'm mentioning it, maybe 7 needs to be, include some of the language. No, it handles that issue of it's completed, the
Right, once
remediation
it's
is complete.
It
Now,
goes back.
okay,
and then it's up to them.
okay.
Subject to, they call it, so if that's in their deed, we'll give it back to them,
Right,
Yeah.
right.
which, why wouldn't we, and why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
We're all
I don't
agreeing
have
to
a
it
problem.
now, so
Yeah.
why would it?
Right, okay, so we're in favor of removing
Removing 10?
10
10.
and then changing the
Just
number
sure
order
to
to,
Right,
reflect the removal of 10.
got it.
Yeah.
you shouldn't have number 10.
Did we decided last time that seasonal was gonna be removed? I thought we had, but the word seasonal is gonna be taken out and.
Yes, we did.
Right.
Pedestrian access,
We did.
So we'll just make sure on the next time we get seasonal.
right. And yellow is very hard to read.
I
That's
think it meant to be
Yellow.
red.
Yeah, that's because I was low on red.
Okay. All right. I thought it was like, this is one of those, don't sign this because you can't read it.
Right.
Shall we make a motion to let him buy a new?
Yes, I make a motion.
I'm gonna say no because I don't wanna micromanage that. If you have it in your office budget, buy another printer. Please.
No, he doesn't even need a printer, he just needs a cartridge.
Cartridge.
Usually it's cheaper to buy a new printer than it is a cartridge.
So then if John makes these changes, what's the next step for you guys? Just so I understand, because Mr. Hodgkins has contacted John and I, and GEI has agreed, if it was conducive to both of us, that they would come and do phase 1 again for no money.
Phase 1 update.
So
Update.
the question is,
But
do we
they
have
already
to do
did
a
it
public
before.
hearing in a town meeting to accept this contract, or can we enter into the contract without a town meeting?
Sign.
So we should be able to enter into the contract. What we're gonna need a town meeting for is, for the transfer of ownership.
Well, that's hence what we're doing here with our contract, so we would need one then.
Yeah.
So we should get with Betty and her magical calendar and figure out timeframes of when we can have a meeting so we can.
Well, we have some other issues too for that meeting.
Get in that.
Right, the more you can do in one meeting, the
Right.
better.
But we don't wanna miss the opportunity of the brownfield grant because we drug our
No.
feet and didn't get the
No.
Right.
dates done.
So then as soon as we could sign this with the change would be
Mhm.
our next board meeting.
Correct.
No, we can't enter into this contract without the, without a public without a public
Without
vote.
town, without a town vote.
Because we're
Right.
taking
So-
property, so therefore.
But
So
he
then
can
the
have
question
it-
goes to, he can have it ready by next
You
meeting.
can have it ready,
We
we
can
can
accept the
review
language,
it.
we can
Right.
accept it
Right.
Right.
as what, this is what we're taking to,
And then we have to have
Public
a
hearing.
public hearing.
And I
we
would
have
have
to
a
do
copy
the
of that
magic.
also.
Yeah.
Calendar.
alright.
When
So,
is the grant application due?
He's not sure yet. That's the other thing. He has recommended that by August, is the latest, sometime in August or early September.
We ought to make
It's
that
over there.
one.
Definitely.
Because he was saying it could be anywhere from September to October that the deadline is due.
We know we're
Feasible
gonna have
to
a
do it
meeting in
now?
August if we don't.
Definitely,
When you
yeah.
first came down, we was looking at the August regular
Right.
meeting,
Yeah.
because it's the 1st of August, but we have to have the public hearings, which I've already got dates set up for that for other things. But if he finds out this application is soon, we may have to do this, but right now, we are set for the
For the
August.
Yeah, last time I
meeting.
talked to Nick there, he was okay with the August meeting.
Okay,
so I would say, make the changes that we just talked about, the seasonal gone, 10 gone, and then re-forward to MMA.
Yep.
And then we'll look at it, put their stamp of approval on it, and then we could vote to, hopefully we'll have it by next meeting, and we can vote to take it to town.
correct.
And if MMA doesn't, I've sent some stuff to them, and they're limited on some of the stuff that they'll review.
We pay
They
a
will
lot of money.
probably, yeah, they will probably recommend that we send it to our attorney.
It's not that they don't want to do it, Justin, it's that they're mandated not to do legal issues of certain types for any town. And there's some things that they can do and will do, but there's also some where they'll send you back and say, this needs to go to the town's attorney, which is why we have both.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions on my statement that GEI has agreed? Nick Hodgkins and John and I have all said, yes, let GEI go ahead that we don't have to go out since they already did the original
Right.
They're
plan
willing
a
to
while
do it for
ago.
free, I mean,
Yeah,
that's,
that-
Yeah.
it's magna cum gratis, with hoping that they'll get the bid, but they understand that they won't, they may not.
but we should send out a thank you letter to them.
Yeah, that would
They
probably
say
be
they have
good.
a lot of work in Washington County, I don't know with whom, but
Huh,
And the price is our kind of price.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're
I
very
like that
happy,
myself.
very appreciative of
yeah,
that.
that's our kind of price.
I'm more than comfortable with going with Gia.
Mr. Hutchins has been an invaluable asset to this process, so,
He really is.
Why?
Okay,
okay?
all right.
Questions for us?
Yeah.
I just wanted to make you aware that Mr. Hutchins had notified John and I did respond saying I had no problems with GEI, and John sent back and said yes at this also, so I just wanted to let you know that we have no problem, so that is ready to go whenever this happens, hopefully.
This way here, I mean, there's no new contractor to come on board, nobody to bring up to speed, I mean,
Right.
Right.
they've already carried the
Everything's
ball.
taken.
They
Yeah.
know what they're looking at, and they know what they're
Good.
looking for.
I'm sure they have most of their files still.
I still have several copies if you would like.
It's a lot easier when you've already done most of the work.
You're historic, hang on to
I
them.
got this right.
Okay.
I thank you for
Thank
your
you,
time.
Barbara, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
So thank you, John.
Okay, yeah.
Appreciate it.
Next item is the agreement with Scooter Sculpture Symposium. This is another one that I sent down to MMA. And the question they had was, you know, we're being asked to form a committee and to raise money and then turn the money over for the sculpture.
Mhm.
They are advising us to do that at a town meeting and get the voter approval to do so.
Sounds good,
So now back to Betty's calendar.
sounds good. Back to Betty's
No,
count.
back
Okay.
to our calendar for needing a contract. When the Skudik Sculpture Symposium, chose Lubec as a site, with that came a contract, of acceptance that, a letter of agreement that needs to be signed by March 22nd. So I would like to propose that our board accept the responsibility as long as it is voted on in a public meeting. There is a committee formed that met last week. There were 6 people in attendance, 4 more that are on the committee would help out. Committee is confident that the $12,000 be raised and that we could move forward with this. Back in December, we had a public meeting here. You probably couldn't have fit too many more people in this room. The community is very supportive of this as to date. The contract would state that once we paid the $12,000, the town would take on responsibility of the sculpture. It could possibly be on our property. If the town doesn't feel that's a good idea, then we can find another piece of property.
My own personal opinion would be if MMA says it should be taken before the voters, I wouldn't sign no contract ahead of time, because I'd leave it to the voters whether or not if they would want to continue with this particular symposium, because that would be premature, wouldn't it, to sign a contract without letting the people vote on it and have their opinion first? I mean, because, well, we represent them, and if MMA says that it should be a vote from the taxpayers, then we
For the
should hold on.
transfer of funds, not
Well-
for the project.
Well, any of it, with contract's a contract, I wouldn't sign no contract until it was brought before the voters.
Can you explain that
Yeah,
a little,
Yeah,
John,
the,
about why they say to go to a town vote?
yeah, the issue is, you know, the Board of Selectmen appoint committees,
Mhm.
4th of July committee, and these are all town committees,
mhm,
and they report to the board.
mhm,
Any funds that they raise and
Mhm.
expend,
mhm,
go through the board, go through the warrant system.
yep,
However, what this is asking us to do is to appoint a committee
Yep.
and raise funds for a third-party entity.
Mhm.
And this is where MMA is saying, you know, get the approval of the voters at town meeting.
Right. And I'll go back to again, I wouldn't sign no contract of any kind till it goes to the taxpayers. And if the taxpayers approve that part of it, then we can sign the contract. And if the contract wants to be dated at a later time, then that's the way to do it. I wouldn't feel comfortable putting my name on a contract.
Right.
And if there's anything to do that the general public has a right to have in on to, because the taxpayers should have say. And we should just stand back and wait to have them have their say, yea and nay, and we'll go from there.
Right.
That's just,
The problem is, the reason that MMA, my interpretation, the reason that MMA is taking this stance is because we are saying on behalf of the citizens of Lubec that we're agreeing to have the sculpture.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But we're also agreeing that we will ensure and maintain
Yeah, I
the
don't
sculpture.
like,
And as select people, we don't have the authority to do that without a public vote.
I was under the understanding that it was just for the transfer of funds.
No, that's not what the contract says.
Right, but that's not what was explained to me.
Well,
Did you
Well,
have the letter back from MMA on the issue?
yes, he has it,
I
I
don't
believe.
have that one. That's the one about
the maintenance and so forth.
The letter from MMA.
So their objection is because we're actually saying on behalf of the town, yes, we will do this, yes, we will pay this, yes, we will
Yeah.
ensure, yes, we will maintain, and we don't have the right as select people to do that.
Right.
I don't think it's gonna be a problem, I agree with you that there was a
Right,
lot of
it's just the
support.
time frame of what.
My question is, how soon can we have a scheduled town meeting?
Well, I don't want to have a town meeting just for this and pay $1,500 for this topic.
Well, there's two possible, right now, there's
move
two
forward.
possible items for a town meeting. This would be one, and there's also an easement that's being requested, and that would be a second. So you could do two things at the town meeting.
Oh,
And there would be a public, there would be a meeting for this anyway, Sarah.
My
It's not like
question
we're
still
con-
stands, how much time do we need, calendar time, before we could actually have it approved?
All right, we've got to get the wording of what we need for the articles. If it's legal for this, I would suggest that MMA review the articles to make sure that's what we need.
Mhm.
So according to how soon they can get the information to us. Then you're gonna have to, if it's not, we can get it by the March 28th meeting.
Which I'm sure we could.
I mean, but can we have a
Because
special
you
town,
need to
special
sign the
selectmen's
warrant.
meeting to sign the warrant soon? I'm just
If we
looking
have
at
it.
how close we can do it to see if maybe the sculpture people will give us an extra week or two if it's only a matter of a week or so.
Well, something a bit more than that. We have to get it in the newspaper.
Mhm.
Quality tides is the second and fourth. In order to get it in the 22nd, we have to have all the information by Monday. Their deadline to get something in the newspaper will be Monday the 18th.
And that's not gonna
No,
happen.
that's ain't, that's too close.
So what's the reality date? Most likely one if we had to have a
So
meeting
I'm looking at it in the newspaper on the 12th of April.
in the newspaper on the 12th.
Mhm. Then you have to have it in there for at least 7 days.
Well, that's a one-shot deal, right?
Hmm.
Quality time.
So,
Yeah,
so which
So
day?
7 days after,
right after the
the
12th.
19th.
okay.
So we could have the meeting on the 19th?
Yes, but my suggestion to ever having a meeting on the 19th, I mean on a Friday night,
Oh,
Oh,
in the
no.
past, people don't show up and you have to have 25
Right,
people here.
right.
oh.
So could we do
That
it the
is-
following Monday,
Hmm.
which would be
22nd.
22nd
And
or
with the
Tuesday?
19th, that's also vacation week from school, so you're gonna have people out of town.
Oh,
Right.
So
yeah.
it definitely would not be,
So we could have it the 21st. Is that what
no,
we're looking
that's a
at?
Sunday.
23rd? What day is
So
that?
the 22nd, the 23rd.
So how far away from the date that they want
23rd
it by
is a
is it?
Tuesday, would that
23rd
be
is
better than a
Tuesday.
Monday probably?
So we're talking an extra month we'd need roughly?